Hey there, y'all. Noah, everyone who reads the most converses the channel. Happy Friday. Awesome. Man, tonight is going to be an awesome night. It's going to be epic, actually, because I have given so much mental space to Flannery O'Connor's first most awesome novel. I mean, a great debut novel, Wise Blood. And I've wanted to give a lot of mental space to it, right? It's the debut novel of an author that I love, like completely love, and I've reread and reread Flannery O'Connor now a bunch, and I have a deep relationship with Flannery, and so this kind of content is gonna be epic. And by this kind of content, I mean the discussion that we're gonna do tomorrow, or not tomorrow, Sunday on our channel. That's Christy Louise Dostoevsky in Space, Tiffany at Beautiful Minutia, Victoria at A Musical Bookworm, and Una from the Codex Cantina will all be here on Sunday, and we're just talking Wise Blood. So it's going to be killer. What's up, Nick Voro? Happy Friday. Nice to see you, brother. Yeah, for sure. My baby Emily is in the house. Hello, everyone. Happy Friday, for sure. We got some people hanging out, some people lurking, but I'm gonna do my best to put timestamps on this one and to really, because the tags that I'm gonna use for structure for this is gonna be great. It's just been epic just thinking about answers and books that I'm gonna talk about, and I think I'm gonna win the first tag, right? Um, Promethea is another thing that I've finished, but I've reread part after part and just really been sitting with it and thinking about it so much and putting together some really good content in my head because it's my jam. Conrob in the house. Happy Friday, brother. Nice to see you. Novels and Crumbs. Lo and behold, you are here. Nice to see you, man. For sure. Hope you're on the mend. Everything good. And happy Friday. Thanks for killing some time with me. The Falcon Reads is here. What's up, brother? Tyler is the the guy that's responsible for me jumping into the second tag I'm gonna do tonight, which is the evolution of a reader tag. Why I'm gonna do it second is because when it comes down to it, there is content like that on my channel, and people do, or kind of watch back stuff if you follow my channel, but you haven't followed for the years that I've been making content. You can go back and see a lot of stuff. And I created a tag not too long ago, but it was like maybe a year ago, year and a half ago now. And it's called the nostalgia tag or the nostalgia book tag. And I, and it's basically a tag that enables a booktuber or content creator to speak of their personal relationship with books by citing individual books that invoke a feeling of nostalgia, remembrance of being a kid and a young reader and whatever that might be, right? Teeny Tiny in the house. What's up? Teeny Tiny, it's always good to see you. That bright green, that star, it really has this little extra something to it, That's about all that it is like, just a different hue, but it really adds so much. It pops, really. What up? I ain't finna read that PG in the house lurking. That's good, man. Thank you very much for coming by. So I'm going to jump into it. First, I'm going to jump into the tag that I think I'm going to completely win. All right. Or do we want to do? I figured I'd show one book because I did just get a book today in the mail. I did an eBay order of some things that I just needed. If y'all notice, I might be a little more crispy tonight because I am on a new camera. Not a new camera, but it's a phone that I was using before. It's a really, really nice phone with a really great camera. So it's going to be what I use for my recording now. And maybe it's good. Maybe it's the same, not noticeable. I don't know. but tonight is the first night that I've used this camera. And SS is in the house. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. And I really appreciate you referring to my viewers in that way, SS. Very cool. My haul is going to definitely fit into the tags a little bit, which is another reason why there is I'm going to win this first tag. I don't know. I don't know the point system on the tag. The creators weren't really clear about it, but we'll get to that. The book that I got is Omon by Victor Pelevin. This is an absurdist science fiction. Look at that cover, dude. New Directions paperback. Am I right? They do good editions all the time. Looks great. It is a very surreal, absurdist sci-fi. You get things like this. Omon is our main character. His name is Omon. Omon's adventure is like a rocket firing off its various stages. Each incident is more jolting and propulsively absurd than the one before. Awesome. The final moments and what happens when the poor boy actually finds himself rocketing towards the moon are surely the most memorable passages I've read all year. Right? But this is a translated work. Andrew Pelevin was born in Moscow, and this is translated by Andrew Bromfield. I assume from the Russian, right? Andrew Bromfield. Yep. A New Directions book. And there is others by Victor Pelevin I'm not familiar with. Short stories, The Blue Lantern and Other Stories, A Werewolf Problem in Central Russia, and The Yellow Arrow. So maybe I'll like it. This comes as a suggestion from my boy C.S. Miller Books, which on YouTube here is Moto Hero. So if it's good, maybe I'll check out some more Victor Pelevin in the future. But we'll just leave that one to the side for now, even though it is going to make an appearance in the tag as well. Because I'm just hot. I mean, I'm coming in so hot tonight, guys. Let me tell you. It is a haunting image. And I was literally born during the Victorian era, so kept the gentleman politeness. I'm wickedly old. SS, you know what? You're only as old as you feel, bro. And if you feel old, then, hey, take it easy. It's like the oldest man alive, like a monk, right? Okay, so this is the Think Twice book tag. If you haven't checked it out or haven't seen it, other people doing it, I saw Bookworm Adventure Girl do it, and it was created by Bookworm Adventure Girl and AJ Dunn at AJ Dunn Reads and Writes. If y'all aren't familiar with those two channels, just definitely check them out. AJ Dunn and her both have, their own style of content, and you'll like it or not, and all good. But they teamed up to create this tag, and it is very well done. And I just wrote down the prompts, and my books are not in great order, so I'm gonna do my best to do it quickly. But I might have missed some prompts. And that's crazy to think of, right? Like I'm saying, I might have missed some prompts when I'm saying that I might win this tag, but really, okay? Antediluvian, right? Was born in the wrong yuga, right? I feel you there. I feel you there. First off, we'll go with the first prompt: double vision twins, right? So this is a book that features twins. Well, I'll do you one better, right? Any excuse to bring up Charles Williams' Descent into Hell, okay? This book features a doppelganger. It is wicked, creepy, not to say scary, right? I love this book. I love Charles Williams, and Descent into Hell is one of my favorites. It's just a great book. There's a lot of scary stuff. Robin Williams or Robin Williams, Charles Williams is so good at openings, first chapters. It'll blow you away. The first chapter of this book will blow you away. And there is our doppelganger right there on the cover, right? So I don't know if there's how many extra points for that one, but y'all put it in the comments, okay? How many extra points for prompt 1? So number 2 is double talk. 2 or twice in the title, okay? So this one I went very straightforward. At Swim Two Birds by Flann O'Brien. I haven't read Flann O'Brien. I have a couple of Flann O'Briens that I've picked up. I have a couple of Flann O'Briens that I've picked up, and this will be on 2023 reading. I was able to get a couple, the Dalkey Archive and this one as well, and The Third Policeman at the end, later part of 2022, and so it's on at Swim Two Birds, Dose. So normal for that. Number 3, Seeing Double, a book with a reflection or mirror. Okay, so like I say, I don't really know what I didn't create it, but they did a good job creating these prompts, and I don't know if you just wanted a mirror on the cover or if you wanted a mirror, a mirrored cover, right? The back is a flat black, but this front is a mirrored cover, but it's actually Funhouse mirrors as well. Do you see? We have Funhouse mirrors with Borges Labyrinths written in it. What's up, Quentin? Happy Friday, bro. Nice to see you. Yes. So a book with a reflection or mirror on the cover. I don't know how many extra points that is, but you guys, like I'm saying, y'all let me know. Put it in the comments how many extra points for prompt 3. So books with a similar cover, I was looking everywhere, and it's just too easy to find books with a similar cover by different authors, because really books have similar looks and covers by their publishers, right? Nice. Yes, very cool. Nice to see everybody hanging out. Awesome. And so I didn't grab, that's one of the ones that I just kind of skipped because it comes down to it's just too easy, There was so many where covers are similar and then they're different authors. That was the only kind of caveat, right? Yeah, the Borges is worth mega points. That's what I'm talking about. See, let's up the ante, okay? Let's up the ante. Think twice, book tag, all right? Think twice before you come at me with a book tag. How about that, if you will? All right. So I second that. Prompt number 5, a retelling. I actually skipped that one as well because, there's just so many kind of retellings over there, and I don't have, necessarily anything that resonates with me harshly that I wanted to share. And there's better, prompts to get to. Number 6, 2 can play that game. A character that plays 2 roles or has an alter ego. Yeah. So let me tell you, the book that I have for this one, I couldn't find. I looked everywhere for it. I was looking all the way up until the very end. And it's a book that I figured I would still shout out and still use because there is content on the channel for it. So if this sounds interesting to you, you can check it out. It's Mr. Either Or. And it's so perfect for this prompt. Let me tell you. The Think Twice tag, it's all about duality, right? And we have Mr. Either Or. This character, our main character, is a secret agent that is posing as a college student. So a college student and an undercover secret agent that gets a phone call in your first chapter to pick up a parcel, and we're on. right? Did I forget to mention that we're talking about a second person narrative? So you do this, you do that, you pick up your phone, you go on this adventure. And also, it's written in verse. So it moves, in a rhyme scheme most of the time, and it actually flies, like just flies, and you're in the seat of this thing, and you got to strap in. It is awesome. It's by Aaron Puchignan. I'm gonna put it in the chat real quick. I have the chat real here. It's AARON POCHIGNAN. I think I got that right. So Aaron Puchignan is the author of Mr. Either Or. He's a teacher at Columbia. He's written like just a few books, but it is awesome and so fun. It's a quick read. It's not that long. It's something like, I would say 150 pages, 120. I can't believe I couldn't put my fingers on it. So I'll find it and I'll show it if people are interested. But I do have content on the channel, Mr. Either Or by Aaron Puchignan. And I think it just crushes. I was looking all over because it just crushes this prompt, So it takes two, a duology. So this one, unless it's a load of Penguin or Oxford classics, it's really cool to have all of those together. Yeah. No. Either or greatness. I tell you, the one that I'm suggesting is a great piece of fiction and very cool, very cool kind of book. So, a duology, the one that I picked, I couldn't help it. Once I thought of it, I picked a 4-book set that everybody who knows what they're talking about knows that it's actually 2 great books, Endymion and Rise of Endymion, and Hyperion and Fall of Hyperion by Dan Simmons. I love this series. This was a freaking beast to read. There's actually 4 volumes, right? Hyperion, and then a companion, Fall of Hyperion, and Endymion, and then Rise of Endymion. But it was written as 2 novels, and it shows. When you read it, you know that Hyperion and Fall of Hyperion are one continuous story. And then we have a definite break in timing and a definite break in the kind of status and level that humans are operating on. And then we pick up in Endymion. It changed, the whole social structure and the way that humans operate changes between the 2 novels. So I can't recommend it enough. I love that series. It's probably, it's one of the greatest sci-fi series of all time. It's definitely up there. As far as storytelling, just strength of storytelling alone, it might be the best of all time. Of all time, because Dan Simmons did the whole thing. And it's just wonderful. So, since my It Takes Two duology actually doubles and is 4 books, I think that there's some extra points to be had there as well. You guys, I'm leaving it up to, the masses, okay? I'm letting you guys have a voice here. If nowhere else, you have a voice here on Everyone Who Reads It Must Converse. So you let me know how many extra points it is for number 7 there. It Takes Two, a duology. Number 8, On the Double, a book told in 2 timelines. So, I thought of so many books that fell into 2 timelines, and just how, okay, I was thinking, there's so many books that I have that have multiple timelines. So I started thinking, well, why don't I just narrow it down to just two? Okay, a book that only uses two. And I had this kind of epiphany. Okay. Oh yeah, I do have all my NYRB classics on the shelf together, and I also have my New Directions paperbacks on the shelf together. I tell you, um, I had this kind of epiphany. Now, see if you can follow me, okay? Doesn't every single book, regardless of anything about the book, doesn't every single book exist in two timelines, no matter how you might analyze or look at it? Let me explain. The book is written at a certain time by that author. And I don't mean a time period, but that too. But at just a certain moment in time, that a work was penned. And then at another moment in time, you experience that book, or somebody experiences that work. So whether it's a period piece, whether it's complete fiction, no matter what it is, and no matter what form of analysis you take to look at any work, any book, don't they all exist in two timelines? The time in which it was written and the time in which you are experiencing it, even if that's, months or a year. There's still notable differences, especially if we're talking about modern American fiction or modern fiction in general. Hey Alexa, happy Friday, brother. Nice to see you. Yes. Novels and Crumbs, that makes it timeless and held in a dimensional fissure. Well, and it is, right? It's timeless in that way. It's a communication. It's telepathy in that way. It's two different points on the same timeline. Well, but they both of those points exist in that book, right? Or in the experience of that book. Pulling the question back from content, to actual, just all about the actual thing that you have in your hands. If the book is written in past tense, which most are, it has two timelines: the events in the past that it tells, and the present time of reading and experiencing the story. Right. That's that too, right? But you also have if an author is writing a contemporary period piece for himself or herself, right? But what if, say, Pynchon writing Mason and Dixon, right? It's a complete fabrication, but it's still period piece and somebody's more modern take on that time. But then even more modern than that, we're going to experience that, right? I'm tripping right now, right? Whatever. I mean, it's just a thought that I had. Do I get, okay. I don't know if there's any points for that one. Okay, whatever. But a book or a story told in multiple timelines. Once I thought of it, of course, I couldn't think of anything else. How about Borges, The Garden of Forking Paths, right? Multiple timelines in a story. Multiple timelines in a story. And when it comes down to it, there's only really one timeline, right? But the timelines are possibilities are shown, and whether or not it's possible is brought up and maybe shown. It's up to the reader, right, to interpret, and beautifully done, and predates multi-universe theory, this kind of quantum mechanical theory that we have now, right, of the multi-worlds theory. Was not a theory when Borges wrote this story, but what Borges depicts is definitely a present in that theory. That theory is, it almost is like describing what Borges is trying to describe in the Garden of Forking Paths. So you can't go wrong. And so there's two times that Borges is shown up on the tag. Okay, is there multiple points for an author showing up twice on the tag? Because I didn't see that, but it just seems like if that's not for some multiple points in some kind of way, then there's an opportunity missed, right? Whatever. Um, Perfect Pair, the last two 5-star books. Oh, I forgot to grab those. I forgot to grab them, but I do have them close. Oh, maybe I don't have the other one close. I'm going to have to mention one and then show one. Sorry. An author really did get the jump on the scientists. That's for sure. And they always do. The poets, the mystics, the poets and the mystics always get there first, It's wisdom, baby, and it doesn't come from experimentation, it comes from experience. It comes from experience itself. And if that experience is an experiment and is something that somebody's using as data to make conclusions and things like that, then they'll use it in that way. But experience is the teacher, and experience is the teacher all the time. Art is greater than science every day. I think so. Double points for sure. Thank you, Teeny Tiny. I knew you were on my side. And SS says, I'm a poet, a novelist, and a scientist. That's why you're here, bro. Nice to have you here. That's right, Alexa. Like Blake Crouch. What is that? Dark Matter. That was a great book. One whole and true is in your mind, and that is in doubt because your memories are fickle things. That's right. Right. Can get me something if I need. No. You can imagine the hell that's always going on inside my head. I can, SS. The poet's got to channel the rage, right? And so I'll just throw out my quick last 5-star reads. They're very easy for me to come up with because it's my two favorite, my favorite and one the best. But two of my favorite reads from last year, and one was Possession by A.S. Byatt, and the next is Beloved by Toni Morrison. So you can't go wrong there. You cannot go wrong there, guys. that is a trippy idea, Alexa. Noah giving 5 stars to Vonnegut. I did think of, with the multiple timelines when I was like, well, Slaughterhouse 5, right? But I wasn't going to bring in another number, right? I'm going too hard on the twos. Hey Jack, by the way. Happy Friday, brother. Nice to see you. No Genji. Idjit. Beloved, you must be kidding. Drew Productions? Come on, man. Beloved's amazing. Beloved is amazing. I mean, it was a mind blow, complete mind blow. You tell me. Why don't you tell us real quick, what must I be kidding about with Beloved being a 5-star read? It's like, oh, wait, Beloved's a 5-star read? Like, did you get the point? Did you get the net? It's not a new book. She's a Nobel Prize winning author, and it's probably one of the best books that she wrote. I haven't read a lot of Toni Morrison, but I mean, it's amazing. It's one of the most affecting books that I've ever read in my life. It's unbelievable. Yeah, answer the call, Drew. I mean, you you piped up, brother. Nice to see you, by the way, and thanks for coming by. But we're book lovers here. You know what I mean? We stand by what we say, and I am saying that Beloved's a 5-star read for me, right? So I will go back because, like I said, I don't have the books in very great order. So one that I did grab for timelines, multiple timelines, um, that'll work for that, is Pedro Paramo. This book is completely awesome, and you have, a a, a timeline where a character's, past, like genetic memory, ancestral past becomes their reality, and they're actually pulled out of the now and pulled into the past. And it's horrifying, it's scary, it's one of the most um affecting short ghost stories ever. It's like reading a David Lynch film. It's really, really well done, very image heavy, symbolism off the charts, and it's just great. Juan Rolfo didn't give us much to go on, but that it's you have to read it. You have to read it. A book has number 10, two for the show. A book that's been adapted 2 or more times. I thought about it and I thought about it over and over, and I didn't come up with any. Not that I didn't. I probably thought of 2 or 3 and didn't, and just kind of dismissed them just because we all know what's been adapted and this kind of thing. Don't like the 5-star system SS. I prefer to grade a book using a hexadecimal because I'm a nerd lunatic. If you see on my channel, I mean, especially when I talk a book and do a dedicated video and kind of review a book, I don't give any star rating to a book. I give my take on a book is what I do. But that's the language for this prompt, so that's why. That's why I use that language for that. And that the last two 5-star books are going to be just the last 2, could sit on a perfect reads, something like that. Give me a metal wreck for sure, man. Throw them out. All right, number 11, Two's Company. A book with 2 authors or a translated fiction work, right? So, we want to, a book by 2 authors or a translated fiction work. That's why I had Omon Ra said that this would play a role later in the tag right there, because it's a translated work from the Russian, but also especially with the amazing way that the covers were done. I had to grab my my books that go well together. Clarice Lispector, and I still need the other one. It's called is it Breath of Life, I believe. Right? You see? These 2 match up here. Right? I'll see if I can get it right. And then this one. So I'm missing the other part, and they see on the back it's a whole different. It's ridiculous what they've done. Books that pair well together. Let me just show you. This is how books pair well together. Okay, check it out. And then on the back, this is the kind of, you get a bigger portrait. So I can't wait. I mean, I'm down to have them, but next time I read some Clarice, my next Clarice is probably gonna be The Besieged City. That's just what is next on my, and I want it, And so Clarice Lispector is translated. She was Brazilian, translated from I assume the Portuguese, right? By Benjamin Moser, I believe was the no. I thought Moser was the translator. Maybe he was just the translator of all the short stories. Um, this Clarice Lispector, The Passion According to G.H., is translated by Idra Nove. Agua Viva is translated by Stefan Tobler. And then Near to the Wild Heart is translated by Allison Intrecken. Okay? So how many extra points is that for, book with two authors or translated fiction works? And double take, recommend two books that pair well together. Well, I wanna take just a moment before we do the last prompt and say that The Master and Margarita is not just a translated work, but this edition is very split, like, a double take. A double take. You have a woman and her cat. You have some mirroring or reflecting going on, right? And so when I saw that and saw this one, pulled this one out, I couldn't put it back. So I figured this is kind of an honorable mention for the Think Twice book tag. And also just kind of knocks it out the park because it's a translated work as well, especially Piver and Volokhonsky translating Mikhail Bulgakov's masterpiece. And Piver and Volokhonsky are great translators. Any translated work I've read by them is very accessible, very easy to read. I read their Anna Karenina and also Master and Margarita. Awesome stuff. So books that pair well together. I couldn't get my mind off of this when I thought of it, of course. And so it just is what it is. But books that pair well together, I couldn't think of any better. Oh yeah, Fit to Be Read. That's what I'm talking about, bro. Yeah, born in Ukraine and raised in Brazil, Conrad. That's right. Actually, Ukrainian, they said. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you got it, SS. Yeah, you got it, SS. And when I'm talking about books that pair well together, I'm talking about Invisible Cities by Italo Calvino. Right? And also anything by Borges. Calvino and Borges seem to be uniquely fitted for each other, just like perfect complements to each other, where they explored everything. We're not afraid to continue pushing, exploring, going, and the Nautilus on the cover here is just perfect for some Italo Calvino action. And of course, with Borges, you have here like a dichotomous sun in a way. I love both of the authors. They endlessly remind me of each other, right? Like Borges makes me think of Calvino. Calvino makes me think of Borges. Started Gravity's Rainbow this week. Holy crap. Dude, I can't wait to see what you think, Fit to Be Read. It's a mind blow. It is a very, very trying read. Yeah. Two books that match well together is Gravity's Rainbow and Foucault's Pendulum. That's right, SS. You're right. Foucault's Pendulum almost got out on this tag for me because it's just such a fractured S show, right? Nice, Quentin. I'm not ready for that. I mean, I just came off reading big books and just the kind of thing that I'm doing with the channel here. I tell ya, I can't wait to just keep reading what I feel like reading. And of course big books always play a role in my reading, but um we'll just see. We'll just see how it goes. I was really happy about getting to Gene Wolfe's Book of the New Sun, that series this last year. So I can't wait to see what this next year's up for. You know, I don't ever know really what I'm going all out for until the time comes, right? So that's it. That's it for the Think Twice tag. You guys tally up my points and just drop them. I'm gonna just keep it honest, you know. That's the only way I can keep it honest, is to just let the public speak, right? I got to let you guys have your say, and I have to accept whatever it is that comes down the pipe from, you know, or comes up from the masses, you know, from the rabble. No disrespect. No disrespect. It's like pitching and echo. We're trying to say the same thing, but one was using a fraction and the other decimal numbers. Nice. Well, you know, it is this kind of wonderful, just overblown paranoia exploration of paranoia and conspiracy and just belief and what belief can do. I mean, it's just awesome. Awesome stuff. I definitely recommend it. You know, Gravity's Rainbow is not for everybody, just like Foucault's Pendulum is not for everybody. So those kind of things, you know, I'm reluctant to always suggest Foucault's Pendulum, and I hardly never suggest Gravity's Rainbow to people. Rick Brick. Who got a Rick Brick? Quentin? Man, it depends on how many books you buy. Quentin, my Rick Bricks are pretty big. Our alt is like 450ish. Yes, you got your alt, man. I can't wait. I'm still reading alt. I'm gonna keep on with that. That'll be through this next week, and I'll be done. And I need to jump on Willard. We need to jump on Willard. I think you're already starting it. New Canadian author out next week through Kuronosama's diet. Nice. I saw the book drop. It looks cool. It's a cool cover and all that. Okay. So I'm gonna kind of make some space here, just kind of leave these as the backdrop. And we'll jump to another tag. I'm gonna have a lot to show on this tag, because this is a kind of tag that is a, you know, explorative tag, and that's why I wanted to end with this tag. Start with the other tag and end with this one, right? Man, yeah, I should do Gormenghast. I'll do it. That series is gonna happen this year. Mervyn Peake. The Mervyn Peake Gormenghast trilogy, that is happening this year, the 2023. Heck yeah. Yeah, Jeff Bursey, go for it. Not Nostrilla. I don't know. I don't know Simac. I do need to read some. I just need to read the best. Right? That's what I want. I want like the best ideas, crazy ideas. You definitely have turned me on to a couple of titles in your videos. Got them written down. Nice. I haven't read the Gormenghast at all. Hey, Travel Through Stories. What's up, Sean? Nice to see you. I have it, but I had just picked up volume 2 at the beginning of this year. I couldn't find it before then, so now I have the whole thing. I would love to read it for sure. Maybe we shoot for like spring. Just because I don't know when when I start it, I'm gonna read the whole thing for sure. I'm gonna go all the way Very cool. I ain't finna read that. Get it. Get it. Okay. So, evolution of a reader tag. I was tagged in this one, actually. The last one I did just because I liked it. And I saw my somebody that supports the channel, bookworm adventure girl, booktube adventure girl, um, did the tag. So that's why I chose that one. But this one, I was actually tagged by Tyler, my boy, at the Falcon Reads. I love the channel, by the way, man. The branding, the everything about it, killer. You're looking good, and I'm sure you're going to continue to alienate people that would support you. You rock, man. Just kidding. And Tyler was tagged by It's Too Late to Apologize. I don't know who is the original creator of this tag. So I'm sorry, but if you see this, drop a line and I'll add you in the description box. I want to give credit where credit's due. All good. Number one, what do you read and how has your taste in books evolved? Right? So with this is where the meat of this tag is. This tag is about how you evolved as a reader. And that's why I say there is this kind of content places on my channel. And especially in my nostalgia book tag that I created, I go through a bit, but I'm not going to rehash all that here either, right? Yeah, buddy, my boy is here. Thank you very, very much for tagging me, Tyler. Thank you very much, bro. And I was thinking about doing it. You know, I wanted to do it and thinking about doing it and dropping it on a Tuesday, but never have any freaking time, right? And it's about making time, of course, right? But I didn't. So it's working out. It's really so this is a rerun. Good night, moon to gravity's rainbow. Nice. Nice. A Cordwainer Smith definitely falls in weird, unique, quirky category. Cool. We'll see. Yeah, I definitely listen to your thoughts on it. So I figured I'd just kind of go of course some of the earliest stuff that I can remember reading, and I do have copies of a couple of these books, like The Day Jimmy's Boa Ate the Wash. What is this? Tyler mentioned The Whipping Boy. Oh, The Whipping Boy was one of those books that I loved as a really young kid. Maybe second grade, maybe first grade, right? I don't even remember what grade I was in. I was so young. But I had it read to me, and I loved that book. Just loved it. And started reading only as a teen, he says. But back then, I only read nonfiction as a big prejudice against fiction. You know, I read a lot less fiction when before. BookTube will get you into reading. You know, getting part of a community of readers will get you into reading fiction, because it's so much easier to talk about fiction because, you know, you're not in it. You yourself are not in it. It's just how you think about it or how something affected you. It's always okay, right? Whatever. But I love, you know, different aspects of nonfiction. We'll get to it. So some of the earliest things that I remember reading that I fell in love with that I did grab were things like Ursula K. Le Guin's The Wizard of Earthsea. And this is actually my old school copies. I haven't gotten new copies of this. The Tombs of Aten has completely lost its cover. But I will get, you know, the new big illustrated edition at some point. I will. But I love these old copies. And that was given to me. Just straight given. Hey, read this if you want to read this. It's a great series, and I devoured it, and it really affected me. I thought, you know, wow, this is just mind-blowing. I love this stuff, right? Harrison Williams in the house. What's up, ATL? That's right, in Hotlanta. Y'all already know. And early in my reading, of course, I was a Stephen King head, right? Me and my mother would read Stephen King novels. We read different stuff together, this kind of thing. And not just Stephen King, but some horror stuff and um, police stuff, crime stuff, some of it. But I had a buddy of mine at school that turned me on to Dragonlance. So I read Dragonlance, and then the Forgotten Realms. This is the Dritz series. I read this when I was young. Not these copies. These are replacements that I found very cheap in a used bookstore, right? So I got them to replace my reading, the copies that I read when I was young. And these just kind of chill, waiting for another read, and I will reread it. I know, right? You mentioned Swan Song, and I mean, of course, here it is, right? I was, maybe middle school when I found Swan Song. I think we found it at a yard sale, right? Just in a box of books, just how you do at a yard sale. Somebody's got a box of books, and it was this edition, same edition. It's crazy because when I think about me as a kid reading this, right? This book was so massive. I could barely even, hold it. This book was so massive that I could barely even hold it. And now, it's a big book, but it's not unwieldy. Like, you can't. Swan Song does completely destroy the stand. Swan Song completely destroys the stand. It's so good. And why is just its strength of characters. It's McCammon is willing to really go there, right? And he does it great. So Swan Song is something, but also that's right. That's right. So if y'all didn't know, Teeny Tiny, my member, that is my mother. Saramago was the guy who brought me into fiction. Blindness is a pretty good book. I'll say that. And I like some Saramago, but I can't. I just really can't with Saramago. Not anymore. So I did grab some of my favorite from that time. Uh, One Crichton that's my favorite is Sphere. Sphere was just a mind blow of a book when I read it. I mean, I read it in middle school, 6th grade, 7th grade, whatever. And I loved it. Just what a techno technological sci-fi. Amazing. Um like I said, big Stephen King head when I first started reading in middle school, and even before that, 5th grade, 6th grade, was reading everything. The Stand, Stephen King's Tommy Knockers, and uh The Talisman, just so much, right? And everybody has Stephen King novels. Aunts, uncles, everybody would give me copies of Stephen King novels to read because everybody had them, because they were just down to give, to foster reading, things like that. But one of the greatest kind of things that I remember, and I got this copy not too long ago, it's a first edition hardcover of Eyes of the Dragon by Stephen King. I love this edition. I love having this book. It actually has the feel of the dragon scales to the paper. This is a fantasy. This is an amazing children's novel, because it is written and delivered as a kind of a YA level novel, but it is on the level of something like Man in the Iron Mask. It's really cool. Really, really, really cool. Reminiscent of that. And then, of course, Ender's Game. I mean, Ender's Game was something that, when I read it back in the day, blew my mind. Was just an amazing read, an amazing experience. and one of those, if you've read Ender's Game, then you know what I'm talking about, that you can only experience that one time. You can really only experience it once, and then you can what's coming. But we actually came into contact with another author that was really cool back in the day, and I loved this. This is another sci-fi author that blew my mind. Ender's Game had to read for summer reading in middle school. Right. Yeah. I mean, but I loved it, when I read it. I read it in middle school for sure. So, it's Norman Spinrad. If y'all don't know Norman Spinrad, it's like, another, some more kind of sci-fi that just a writer that was prolific and wrote all kinds of stuff. And then, now nobody really talks about him anymore. But Agent of Chaos, this was a really, really cool book. And there's another book that I read by him called A Scourge of Screamers. I think that was a really, really cool book too. And I have, just the old copies that I read back in the day. Agent of Chaos here is a really kind of it is kind of epic. It's not universe wise, but it is solar system wide. And different factions of government fighting for power, and the agents of chaos are around, right? So as you can see, like early in my reading, it's sci-fi. Harry Harrison. There we go, Harrison in the house. I'm just crushing it today, right? Harry Harrison, Stainless Steel Rat is Born. I loved this book, And then, of course, I just had to pull this one out too. Childhood's End, Arthur C. Clarke. These kind of things were formative. When I read them, you just, from then on, you gauge other books by those books, right? Until you gain a breadth of reading to where then you have more, space. And, these kind of things were formative. Another thing that was formative early is comics. I read comic books for a really long time. For sure. Heck yeah. Nice to see it. Heck yeah. So I've Spider-Man was my man. I got into X-Men and Superman and all that kind of things, right? Where the sidewalk ends is in Zelda's bedroom. I wonder if I would think he can't write, if I reread it now. Because a lot of these kind of things, I did try to reread the Dragonlance series at some point, and it was horrible. It was horrible. Just the writing is atrocious, and it was hard to read, and I didn't finish it. So I wouldn't doubt if Arthur C. Clarke's, if I read it now, I'd be like, come on, man. Like, you can write better than that. So, comics has continued to be something that I give time in my reading for, graphic novels. And I keep my eye on certain series or storylines. And then when they're finished, I'll read them. Because I like to have the whole thing. Some of my favorites are 100 Bullets. If you've never read 100 Bullets, it's a big series. It's about 100 comic books long, I think is how long it is. And it's Brian Azzarello and Eduardo Risso. It's a crime graphic novel, and it is epically good. Epically good. Blow your mind. I grabbed just this one. There's 13 or so of these trade paperback bind ups, so I wasn't going to grab them all. I got too much here already. But this one is indicative of your feel, right? Noirish crime drama, and it is hardcore. Like it's hardcore gangsters. And of course, Kingdom Come. I love Alex Ross, his artwork. There is some content on my channel on Kingdom Come if anybody's interested. And also Y the Last Man. I love Y the Last Man. This is Brian K. Vaughan, a great graphic novel writer as well. So I love Y the Last Man. It's great. I didn't watch any of the show that they did. I don't give a crap, right? But boom, I always gotta wait until the comic art is finished. I wait until it's completely finished every time. Caught up on Chainsaw Man manga and waiting every week for 3 minutes worth of story. See, and that's the thing too. With comics, I read them too fast, man. I read them too fast for them to even be enjoyable. I'm like, dude, no way, right? But some I will keep and reread and go into like that. Y the Last Man is worth it. 100 Bullets is worth it. And Promethea. Promethea is one of the greatest graphic novel series that I've ever read, if not the greatest graphic novel story arc that I've ever read. I'm going to do some big content on Promethea. Once I got to, high school and later high school, and even after high school, was reading big things. Like that's when I, high school, end of high school, and after is when I was reading Dune, the Dune series. I grabbed Chapter House Dune. This is the final volume in Frank Herbert's Dune, and we have an awesome author photo, shaved, clean, Frank Herbert. Dune is an epic series and an amazing series, and when I finished the Dune series, and I mean I read all of Frank Herbert's Dune, that's 6 books. Then Brian Herbert and Kevin J. Anderson's prequel trilogy, the Legends series, the Battle of Corrin, the Machine Crusade, and the Butlerian Jihad. And then they wrote 2 books, Hunters of Dune and Samurers of Dune, that will finish up Frank Herbert's series. I read all those. So it's 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 books. And when I finished those 11 books, let me tell you, I felt like I could read anything on this planet. That's when I had a confidence boost in what I could read and was not afraid to go at anything. That's when I started going at things like Gravity's Rainbow and just wasn't afraid of a big book at all, because I had just read a series that was so many thousands and thousands and thousands of pages, maybe 10,000 pages in just that series, right? And, when you do something like that for the first time, at least when I did that, it really boosted me as far as my confidence in reading and going for books, and it was just on, right? Debated reading Attack on Titan. I've heard that Attack on Titan is one of the best of manga, but hardcore, right? Definitely hardcore. All right, so I'm gonna wrap up this tag real quick because, like I said, the first part right there, that's where the meat is, and then the rest are just kind of questions. So, question 2: how do you read? Has your format of reading changed? And I'm more of a book person than anything, so I love physical books. I want to read in that way. Words on a page is something that I have an affinity for. Number 3, how much Do you read more or less, and when? So lately, I've been able to read more, having more time here at the house. So I read, and when I read anytime. I read anytime I want, anytime I can. The main thing about finding time to read is cutting out time for other hobbies that aren't what you want to be doing, right? If you want to be reading, then that's what you do, right? And so that's what I do with my spare time. If I do other things, then it just cuts into reading and vice versa, right? And I'm just very mindful of what I do, of use of my time, right? There you go. There you go, teeny tiny. And then number 4, how has BookTube changed you as a reader? Well, it's definitely continued to broaden me as a reader my whole life. I've been, broadening my reading horizons, and being a content creator and being on BookTube is something that has constantly stretched me as a reader and pushing that. Nice. Heck yeah, baby. So, I've always wanted recommendations, and I think that a lot of people join BookTube and a lot of content creators start making videos for just this reason, because they do want to talk to people about books and get more recommendations and all that kind of thing, experience reading with each other, this kind of thing. And it's perfect. It's just completely perfect. BookTube has changed me as a reader by turning me on to more and more authors and books that I never knew existed. And there's more. There's still more. You can never exhaust it. So there we go. Happy Friday, y'all. Thanks for chilling out. Went a little bit over, but that's okay. Like I said, I'm going to put timestamps on this one, at least for each tag. And then I'm going to put the prompts in there, but I'll also tag everybody that I have mentioned in this video. I'll tag them in the video, in the description. So, check it out. See if you get tagged. Anybody mentioned is tagged to do one or both, whatever tags you like. It's really laid back, this community. Tags do good to give you structure for discussing books, and feel free to use any one that that draws you. So thank you, everybody. Thank you. Happy Friday. And thanks for the tagging me. Thanks for chilling out and crushing an hour, loving some books with me. Like and subscribe, or like and give me the thumbs up. Hopefully some more people will come and have some fun with us, talking books. So see you next time for sure. Later, Conrad. Later, Tyler. Later, SS. Alexa. All my supporters. Yeah, PG ain't finna read that in the house. Bye.